In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to get consulting clients on LinkedIn with my 7-step, 7-figure consulting blueprint. And I'm also going to walk you through, if you're a consultant currently in a job and you want to leave, how to book yourself up completely with the clients before you actually leave your job. Now, before I get into it, if you don't know who I am, my name is Matthew Lakajev. I run a program called 7-Figure Creators. I've got about 60,000 followers on LinkedIn now, and our business does about $3.5 million a year. We've done about $282,000 in the past 4 weeks. So if you times that by whatever, the reason I don't pull the yearly numbers up is because we're growing so fast. I just have to re-estimate every month. And pretty much in this video, I'm going to give you the exact blueprint that if you're a coach or a consultant who either right now needs to generate leads or wants to leave your job to start a business, this one's for you. And this video was inspired by a guy I was chatting to, one of my mates at CrossFit today. He told me he went blind in one of his eyes because he was working 80 hours a week, and he's like, fuck this, I need to leave. And I was like, all right, dude, I'm going to make you the exact blueprint. You've got a year. I'm going to show you how to do it. And I was like, I'm going to build it for him. I'm just going to put it out publicly as well. So let's get into it. I'm really excited to share this one because I went deep building it. It took me a couple of hours. So how to build a thriving consulting business before leaving your job and or right now. Yeah, my buddy lost sight with one of his eyes, which is insane. So he's been in a high pressure corporate IT role. He finally hit his breaking point and he was like, yo, I want to leave your job. And I was like, cool, let's get you started so we can fill it up. And so this strategy will work for any niche consulting business, consultant or coach. I don't know what the difference between a consultant or a coach is. Who fucking knows? Coaching, consulting, right? First up, let's just run through why most consultants get it wrong. I've chatted to thousands of consultants and coaches, and the natural thing when they're building a business is they think they need to build the systems first, then they hire the team, then they find clients. Completely fucking wrong. That's backwards. The reality is you need to get a fuck ton of attention first. You need to solve the leads problem first to build a pipeline of clients. And then once you do that, then you can have the confidence to either leave or start selling stuff. And that is straight out of Daniel Priestley's Key Person of Influence book. I'm a massive fan of Daniel Priestley. Like, I really hope one day I can do a podcast with him or something because he's such a legend. He's also originally an Aussie as well, lives in the UK now. But he just talks about how you need to solve the leads problem first. And you do that by becoming a key person of influence. Russell Brunson, if you don't know who he is, look him up. He wrote Expert Secrets. When you become this person, you just attract tons of people. And he makes the argument that every single business, in order to thrive, needs to be the key person of influence. And me making this video is me being a key person of influence for my business. And so you need to do it. All right. Before I get into the 7-step formula, and it's like really, really valuable down here, I'm going to walk you through the exact tactics, like exactly how to do it, right? Like step by step, like you could just set it up from this video. I just need to make the economics argument first because a lot of people, some of the stuff that I go through in the steps, you'll be like, oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to niche down. Like, that feels weird and icky. I just want to communicate why. Now, I'm going to take you back to school days, to economics. And don't worry, we're not getting into any advanced economics. This is just unit 1. So when somebody is a generalist at something, they're not a specialist. And think someone like, let's say, a generalist as someone that's like, I do B2B leads for companies, right? That's a very big generalist. What happens when you're a generalist, if you look at this graph, if you look at this one, this is the demand, and then this is the supply graph, right? What happens here is you meet in the equilibrium, and this is the price you can sell for, which is usually a price. Because when you compete in a market where there's a lot of other people like you, there's not much differentiation, and you can't change, you're fucked. I used to own a cafe, right? One of the hardest businesses to run because everyone can enter, and there's no way to differentiate and price a product. And so like you literally get stuck in this middle point where you have to sell at this equilibrium. And the problem is that like the supply of what's in the market just keeps increasing. So the supply shifts to the right? It keeps increasing and it drives down your fucking price. So I remember one time we were like killing it. People loved us. Me and my brother owned a cafe. It was like awesome. But like we were in a small suburb of Newport in Sydney's Northern Beaches, and there's only a certain population of people that go through there. Another cafe opened up, which increased the like supply like in the market. And then what happened is it just drove down our price. It drove down like it drove down the amount that we could actually sell, which inherently would have to drive down our price. But you can't compete on price of product. So it's fucked. And so that's why you don't want to be a generalist. You want to be a specialist when you leave in consulting. So key points are when there's high supply, it means people have many options to choose from. Trust is spread thin, but no one stands out. Clients default to choosing the lowest cost option, driving prices down, which you don't want to. There's the famous marketer Dan Kennedy talks about there is no advantage to being the second highest price in the market. You want to be like either the most expensive or the cheapest, and most people can't be the cheapest. Like the amount of money Amazon had to lose money for 15 years in order to become the company they are today, right? You don't want to compete on price. You want to compete on differentiation and being the only option. This creates a market which must compete on price. Why this matters? Generalists operate in a race to the bottom, struggling to maintain profitability. Without differentiation, trust remains minimal and clients treat providers as interchangeable. Consultants face constant pressure to lower prices, leaving little room for sustainable growth. And what happens, I see this in agencies like all the time. Someone's like, I'm a B2B cold email agency, and they don't specialize in any niche or working with any company. And because of that, there's so many of you out there that fucking anyone can go to anywhere and they can be, I'm unhappy with it, I'm going to switch, and someone else will just offer a lower price. Then you keep fighting on price and you keep pushing down, and you fuck your profit margins, and then you can't hire more people, better people to make your product better. And it's the same for consultants. So you want to niche down like as you go through, and let's talk through it. So what happens though when you become a niche specialist is it increases your ability to do the price, because you become like, this is you, right? You become unique. And when you say, instead of saying my buddy here who's like a tech security consultant, right? If he says I'm a cybersecurity expert helping Australian companies do cybersecurity, fucking anyone. If he just says I help Sydney small legal firms get cyber secure, what that does is the perception in people's mind, usually the price would be down here, but in their mind, the supply decreases because there's way less people that say that they do that. So what that means is you can increase your price and make more money. Even though there's boatloads of other people that do cybersecurity, in the eyes or the perception of your target market, which is the small legal firm, you are the only option. And that's like why the more niche you go. And what happens, like when you niche, right? Like you're playing, like the problem is, right? Let's say that I can't do an ocean here, right? Let's say this is the ocean, right? Let's say there's a really big ocean and you're a fish, right? You become a little fish in a big sea. There's a lot of different options for people to choose from. But if you jump into a little sea, like a really sub niche, and you become a big fish in a little sea, you crush it, right? Like, and that's what you want to do. You want to start with being the big fish in the little sea. You want to compete in places where there's not many people competing. And sure, there's less customers, but it doesn't fucking matter. There's like one of you. Like, you're never going to run out of customers. Like, literally, there might be 1,000 legal firms. Like, there's probably thousands of legal firms like this in Sydney, right? And it's just, if you just say you do that thing in the human perception in their mind, that's what matters. And so, specialist market dynamics, low supply reduces the competition and increases exclusivity. And it's not that there's low supply of cybersecurity or any niche that you pick. It's just that in the person's mind, when they read that you do it for small legal firms in Sydney, right? They then search other cybersecurity for small legal firms in Sydney and they can't fucking find anyone. And they're like, you're the only person. This high trust is built because clients see you as the best and only option. Prices become secondary as clients value a unique offer, even though you do the exact same thing, right? The exact same thing. You're no longer compared to competitors. You set the benchmark. Why this matters is specialists escape price-based competition, creating a sustainable and premium business model. Clients prioritize trust and exclusivity over cost, enabling long-term relationships, and consultants can focus on delivering value rather than competing on price and not be stressed about money. It's why there can only be one Amazon. Like, remember eBay used to be a thing? Who fucking uses eBay now? Like Yahoo, right? Where's Yahoo? This doesn't exist because there's Google, right? There's ChatGPT. I'm sure there's Claude, but like, where are the other ones? Walmart, right? When you're the only one, like in Australia, there's Woolworths and Coles. They're the fucking oligopoly. They just stomp the shit out of all the other grocery stores. When you're competing on price, you can only become the only top one. But if you're not the only top one, you want to be the highest priced person in the market. That's the specialization. And that's honestly like how people win. It's crazy. Like, we've got a client, I'll show you, for example, Marina, right? I just thought about her. But like, See how her offering is so niche. She's a ghostwriter for self-employed financial advisors. So fucking niche. You know how many LinkedIn ghostwriters and personal brand experts that are out there? So many. But when she's only got 1,300 followers. And when she put this post out the other day, right? This post here, like she messaged us in the school group and she was like, man, I literally got so many leads contacted me. She got on a group call with us and she was like, yeah, when I started selling, I literally filled up straight away. Like I couldn't even handle the clients. And now we're helping her switch her business model to make it more sustainable. But just by writing this, that she does this, ghostwriting for financial advisors versus ghostwriting for any other people is like the same fucking thing. It's just in the perception or the mind of the other person. That's why it matters. That's why specializing matters, because if you market to everyone, you market to no one. But if you market to only a few people, you become their everyone that you market to. Now, the next part is the trust gap. So let's go back to this slide here. And I know this is laborious, but like, you got to fucking do it. As I talk through the 7 steps, right, you're going to be building trust and making connections and relationships with people. If you look at this graph, this talks about inelastic demand. What this means is that what happens, like let's say that there's the supply diagram over here, right? Let's say that let's say we've got demand, price, right? We've got demand here. Let's say what happens, right, is you increase I can't remember which way it is. I'm having a mind blank. As the supply, let's say that the supply increases, right? It doesn't decrease the price that much. But when you don't have much trust, it does decrease the price a lot when you come into the market. And kind of what happens when you become an expert is eventually like you become what's called inelastic. You're inelastic, meaning that it doesn't matter like how many other people kind of come into like the competitive arena, like you are the only one. And so what this trust does over time is like you start here, this is point 1, but then you make connections and relationships with people, and then it builds trust, which inevitably makes you more inelastic, meaning that you can charge more money and like that other people can't really compete with you, because what trust does, like trust happens through connection. It comes through having time or like familiarity with someone, and it also comes through you delivering them value. And it takes time to build trust. That's why in the tactics, I'm going to tell you to go through and add people every week and have conversations and connections with them. Because if you have a conversation with someone for 2 months, they don't see you as a salesperson. It's why people, when they get referrals, they close it at such a high close rate. It's because they're up here when they get the referral, right? But when you do like cold traffic, you're fucking like this. You're fighting an uphill battle for trust to like bring it up here, right? It's really, really hard to do. That's why you need to be very, very good at sales to do cold stuff. And it's why a lot of small business owners can't do it. So we've got the trust gap. Trust transforms your positioning from one of many options to the only option. Clients feel that choosing you minimizes their risk and guarantees the results just by saying that you help this specific person only. Even if you help other people, doesn't even matter. This shifts their focus on how much does it cost to how soon can I work with you, because they're like, you're the only option. Trust makes demand inelastic, allowing you to raise prices without losing clients. Clients perceive you as irreplaceable, further reinforcing loyalty and value. For consultants, this means consistent demand and the ability to charge premium rates. Let's look at like the absolutely inelastic thing. Let's say Cristiano Ronaldo, right? The soccer player. There's one of him. For him to do an appearance somewhere, he can charge whatever the fuck he wants. He's perfectly like inelastic. Like he is perfectly inelastic, right? It's the only option. It's like, imagine if you're in the desert and there's someone with water and you're so thirsty with water, you're going to die. It's like, you're going to pay whatever you want for that water. Then you become the only option in the perception of the mind of people out there. And that's what really matters as you can double down as a specialist. Then you've got the trust pyramid, right? What happens is when you just specialize over time and you do specificity, right? You just have way more trust value. It's inherent trust. If I say, I help you get insurance, or I help California families, young families get insurance for the California law, who am I going to trust more? Obviously, I'm going to trust the other person, because humans, we use heuristics in our mind as mental shortcuts to avoid decision making. It's why it's why habits and routines are so good, because like if you get up and you put on the same shirt every day, you don't have to think about what shirt am I going to wear. So it reduces your decision making fatigue for the rest of the day. It's why one of my mentors, he wears a black shirt every day. He just doesn't have to think about shit. It's why routine and habits and structure matter so much, because it allows you to be productive on the other things that you actually do. And it's the same with human psychology and marketing. It's literally the same thing. And so the argument for here, right, is that trust is hierarchical. Generalists are at the bottom, specialists are at the top. The more specific your expertise, the higher level trust and pricing power you can charge. Higher trust reduces client risk perception and makes less deciding factor. Specialists command premium pricing as scarcity and trust grow. For consultants, climbing the trust hierarchy is the key to becoming indispensable. Like if you can become the only one, and that's why it's so hard. Like so many people want to compete against, like, let's say Justin Welsh, right? Like he is known as like the biggest personal brand guy on LinkedIn. He is the Amazon. He is the Amazon. You can't copy what Amazon does and beat them. It doesn't work. You can't beat Tesla or whatever it is. It just doesn't work. And so you shouldn't even compete there. You don't want to be the little fish in the big pond. You want to be the big fish in the little pond. That's what you want to be. And when you're starting out, and then you can broaden and expand your niche as you keep going as well. And so let's look at the next graph. I promise we're nearly through this, but it's needed, right? Your journey from the generalist to a specialist, right? Pricing power and demand strength. It just, as you niche down and you become a specialist, as you can see in this graph, it allows you to charge more money and it shows you have way more value. And as you go deeper and deeper and deeper into that specialty, that's where you do it. And like I've got tons of buddies the ones that own 8-figure businesses, and all of them are not like a cold B2B email coach. They're like, one of them, my friend Ben, he does about $12 million a year. He's like, I help Australians build a buyer's agent company. And he came from years and years in real estate, loads of experience there, started this company, absolutely kills it. But like, it's very specific and niche, and he only does Australia. Right? I got another friend who does only e-commerce companies in Australia who have a certain revenue. He works with them, right? When you have this niche or this slice of the pie, what happens then is like it's easier to take a small slice than like a large slice. Everyone knows it's really hard to do, right? Really hard to pull out. It's too heavy. You can't get it. But when you just pull out a small slice, then you can own that slice. And then after that, what you can do is then you can pull another slice. So let's say Ben wants to go to New Zealand. He can do that. You can broaden the niche little bit by little bit. But like, let's say you try to compete with Slack or Salesforce and try to build a CRM. You're not going to start as a generic CRM. You're going to start as a CRM for small legal practices with less than 50 people. That's what you're going to start with. You're not going to start with anyone else, because otherwise you find, and that's how most of these companies start. Amazon started by selling books online. I can't remember how HubSpot started, but like they all start with a small niche subset problem and they expand out. But the problem that consultants have is they accept everyone, then they can't systematize their structure, and then they end up selling to no one, and then just like playing feast or famine game, which doesn't happen, which fucks you, literally. And so why this matters, like pricing power, demand strength. You know, the more specialist you are, the more inbound leads you're going to rise with exclusivity. You become the only one. Specialists achieve predictable growth and escape feast and famine cycles. Trust multiplies both supply, demand and purchasing power, ensuring long-term sustainability. Consultants can position themselves for exponential growth as they niche down. And once you niche, you could be like, I work with legal firms and now I work with financial advisor firms. It's like an adjacent niche. You just move across. It's like really, really easy. Now, the last visual we've got is the cumulative trust effect over time, right? There becomes a tipping point where this is time and this is trust, that it's like you become into just this expert position where you can charge like the most amount of money over time. And this is where you want to get to. I feel like I'm kind of getting there. I'm trying to get there as like only working with small business owners, only specifically with LinkedIn, implementing a system they can do it themselves without an agency, no paid ads, organic content, and DMs and building an email list. So I'm just like very specific on that niche and I'm not swaying from it. So here, trust builds incrementally and compounds over time. Every interaction, piece of content, and resources add to your trust bank that you build. Eventually, trust reaches a tipping point where your reputation sustains itself. You kind of like made it, right? Why this matters: high trust accelerates client acquisition and reduces sales cycles. Clients actively seek you out making selling effortless and premium pricing the norm. For consultants, long-term trust builds and ensures a steady pipeline of high-growth clients. All right. That's the argument. That took us a little bit. I needed to get into that because like if you are not convinced about like picking the specific niche, it's not going to work. So here's the 1-year blueprint for your consulting business. You know, if you to leave your job, the seven-step plan and the framework of what you can do. Step 1, you want to build relationships early. Trust is everything and it takes time to build. So you want to start reaching out to your ideal clients now. I'm going to show you how to do it and just a little bit on the math, right? With LinkedIn, you can add about 200 people a week, right? 200 a week. And about 100 of these will accept. And so by the end of the year, if you've got a year to plan, you can have 5,200 connections that you have a semi-relationship with who are your ideal potential clients. Because then at the end, you're just going to reach out and be like, hey, who wants to work with me? And there's boatloads of people are going to. So what you want to do is you want to go into Sales Navigator. You need to buy LinkedIn Sales Navigator. I got tons of videos on how to do it, so I'm not going to get into it now. You go to leads, and then you're going to build leads lists, and I've got videos on how to do this, and you're going to niche down. So let's say we're going to go to legal firm, right? Let's say my friend, company headcount, he wants 11 to 50 legal firms because he's doing cybersecurity with them. He'd go here. He would go Australia, right? And then he would go the business owners, director, CXO, owner, partner, right? Yeah. So he's got 140,000 people. There you go, legal firm. And you're going to have to play around with this. Might take you a couple of hours to build the list, right? So 658. Legal homes, legal firm. We just go legal, right? Legal. Actually, it's law firm, right? Isn't it? It's law firm. Actually, law, whatever it is. Yeah, he's got a lot. And so you're just going to build this down. And so you might even go to industry, law firms, law practice, right? Right. So you got 2,000 here. That's pretty good. And then to go even more niche past this point, you'd go connections of, and then you'd pick people that you know and you connect with them. And so you want to connect with like 5,200 of these people per year and just start having conversations and relationships with them. So for Ben, if I'm going to connect with Ben, and you can use an automation tool to just automatically do this, I'd probably just do that, or you can do it manually if you want. But like, let's say I went to Ben, I'd be like, hey Ben, what's going on? Just saw you connected with Michael Fox. I used to work with him in our program, really good guy. Saw you're a legal firm here. I actually write a newsletter on helping legal firms, fucking whatever, increase security. What's going on? Nice to reach out, right? And even if you slightly miss the niche or whatever, it honestly doesn't even matter. Like, it's totally sweet. That's the first thing you want to do. And because by that time, can you imagine 5,200 people know you at the end of the year? And then you can send as many messages as you want to them. It's freaking amazing. And so you're then just going to send them personalized connection requests, and you're not going to pitch. You're just going to talk to them, share value, offer insights and advice. And if I'm a legal firm and you're a specialist who is helps with cybersecurity for legal firms, it's a big problem. And so you're like, yeah, I work with legal firms and help them with cybersecurity. You're not actually running a business yet though, or you may be, but like this is before you leave your job. But like then you can just literally just talk to them about it and just provide them actual insights. Hey, have you done this? I work with these people. That's it. People don't hire strangers. They hire people they trust. Starting now means you'll be on top of mind when when a problem comes up. And even if halfway through the year they're like, hey, I want to work with you, and you're like, oh, I don't have my own thing, but I can. Then you just give them a referral to someone else, and it's not a bad thing. It's not like, oh, I'm not going to get them later on. It's like people always value a referral. Next step 2 is you want to make your profile like fucking crystal clear. Like, do not say IT consultant. Don't. You want to say helping small law firms secure their data and comply with cybersecurity regulations. Or you would say helping Aussie law firms with cybersecurity. That's it. Like, it's so simple. Like, if I go to, let's go to like Tim's profile we changed the other day. So like his is so simple. Helping US families get life insurance. Fuck me. It's so easy. Like if I would go, so I would just go for my friend, helping Aussie legal firms be cyber secure. DM me cyber and I'll send you a 5-step checklist to make sure you're cyber secure. Really easy. Aussie cybersecurity for legal firm businesses. Done. Easy. You've got it. And then down here, I'll show you what to put later on. But what you want is you want it to just be blatantly obvious what you do. You don't want to be tricky marketing or anything. You want to, when someone says, hey, what do you do? And you respond with like 7 words, that's what you want to put there. You want to make it blatantly obvious. And I've got like a profile kit like on exactly how to do this as well. Like we have it in our program, but like it shows you and just builds your whole profile. Looks really, really cool. Then step 3 is you want to post content that builds trust. And I'll just talk about different content types, right? And you're going to have to go into like, what I would suggest doing first is like going to LinkedIn and like going to say my profile as an example, and then looking at other people like me. It doesn't come up with it, but if I pull up, let's say Yasmin Alec, right? He's one of the best copywriters on LinkedIn and he teaches you how to write. Really, really good copywriter, right? It says more profiles for you. Just follow a whole bunch of people who are LinkedIn copywriters and like learn how to write. And you can use this tool called Cleo, Kleo, and you can just look at all their top posts and you can see why does it work. And look, even this one, everyone on LinkedIn needs to read this. Did you know that they have trouble reading? Actually, so like this is a brilliant post. Like you can steal that hook. I'm actually going to steal this hook for later. So I'm going to screenshot it and send it to myself because that's fucking brilliant. I want to use this for my post. Everyone on LinkedIn needs to read this. It's a really good hook. If you don't know what a hook is, you'll learn through content writing as well. But like you want to follow these people because learning how to write and convince people just by written word is amazing. And you want to post 3 different types of content and you want to, you want people to get to know you. You want to post your expertise and your personality. So it's a mixture between business and work because you want people to know you for you. Like I'm Matt, the LinkedIn lead gen guy, but I'm also Matt, the LinkedIn lead gen guy with my dog Teddy, who's like sleeping in the background, who also does CrossFit and High Rocks, is a bit crazy, runs this program, like had a crazy elaborate Indian wedding. Like you want them to know you from these little connection pieces because, when a client of mine does CrossFit, and we talk, it's like fucking boom, trust is accelerated. So you want to you post this personal stuff. Like you might have kids. They have kids. Really easy. I don't have kids, so I haven't got that one. So then you want to say, okay, here's your content strategy. So you want to talk about problem solving posts, like really help people. So 3 common cybersecurity mistakes small legal firms make and how to fix them right. It's just an example of a hook. But like if I am a small legal firm and I read that, I'm going to be like, oh, that's like relevant to me. And Marina, that's exactly what Marina did the other day as an example. And I know for a lot of copywriters and stuff, this type of hook, they're like, don't say this, but it doesn't matter if you get like boatloads of likes. Like the thing I don't like about a lot of like LinkedIn personal brand growth experts is they sell how to grow on LinkedIn. So that of course they have to have a lot of followers. So they just write content that gets growth, but it doesn't necessarily get leads. Like there's like the most like there's this guy on LinkedIn, Chris Donnelly, and like he's like the number 1 fastest growing creator in the world, right? And his stuff is like really good, like really, really good. The problem though is that if you try to replicate what like Chris Donnelly is like the Amazon, right? There's only one. And so like if you look at his content, right? Let's look at it down here. Let's go how to write hooks, like how to repurpose like a pro, how to do this, like how to do this, how to create your best life. Like this type of content, these many skills that will pay you forever, how to master LinkedIn, that's pretty good. 10 ways to own your time. This type of content is like not the type of content that's going to get you leads initially and make you an expert in your niche, right? It's literally not. So Marina posted this, most financial advisors on LinkedIn are wasting the time because they try to serve everyone. So if I'm a financial advisor and I read this, I'm going to stop. And she got like 40 likes on it, which is pretty damn good for a super niche post. Like we have another client, Ignacy, right? And he helps AEC professionals learn BIM coordination in an easy and effective way. So fucking niche. 30,000 followers. Massive, right? And when he posts content, it's like so niche. Like if I look at his best content, it's just so niche that like he kind of like flicks the niche thing off and becomes the only one. So he's like one of the only AEC people that post, but once the algo catches you, oh, fucking this is taking ages to load. Once the algo catches you, you become like the only option. Like we have another client called Archer Sampson, and he posts about, helping professionals break into mergers and acquisitions. 15,000 followers. This one post of his got 2,223 comments. He had another one that got he had another post, if Cleo works over here, they got like 7,000. This one here, 7,634 comments, which is a lead magnet post, which is crazy. Like Ignacio's stuff, amazing, right? Really, really good. His top comments, like really, really good, right? They become the only one. Like when I find clients like these, I'm just like, man, we're going to help you make so much money because they've already got such inherent trust built up in the market. And it's like amazing, right? So different content you're going to talk about is you can talk about problem solving content. These are the mistakes. Storytelling content. Last year I helped a client recover ransomware that could have cost them this much money. Here's what I learned. Really good. Thought leadership posts. Why small legal firms need to take cybersecurity seriously. Or like you would do some type of thing where it's like the latest cybersecurity report came out. Here's what every legal firm needs to know so they don't void their insurance. Something like that, right? So you're doing, and you want to post 3 to 5 times a week. And your posts don't have to go to viral. Like for the first 6 months on LinkedIn, I got 2 million impressions and no leads. Impressions do not equal leads. It doesn't happen. So you want to post consistently and you want to follow copywriters to get good at content, but you don't want to copy what they write. Like someone like, say for example, Yasmin Alec is like a very, very good content writer, and you should copy when he talks about how to write, you should copy what he does because he's very good at writing. But you shouldn't copy the style that he does. You shouldn't talk about how to write and all these things because that's not your specialty. His specialty is like growing people on LinkedIn as like a brand, right? And so big mistake most consultants make and coaches and small business owners is like they try to copy these personal brand people and their goal is reach. Your goal is not reach. It is reach but in the right way. And so yeah, follow these copywriters. Next is you want to create a free resource or a lead magnet and just do one, right? And so you want to pick something that could be, and guys, I've got a free book in the link in the description below. Just grab it. It's the lead magnet playbook. It literally shows you how to build these lead magnets. It's free. Get it. It's got templates inside. Like we should be charging for these books. They're fucking amazing. We've also got the one when I mentioned before, how to sell in the LinkedIn DMs, how to message people. We got a 10,000 page mini book. We also have an AI that actually writes and analyzes your content for you. Get it for free as well. I've also got to learn how to start selling on LinkedIn free course on how to like build your offer, pitch deck. I get dozens of people every week telling me they closed their first few deals with it. Get this absolutely for free, just in the links below as well at the same time. So let me go back. And so you want to create this free resource and you want to create something that like, and mind you, go through my lead magnet playbook to build the resource. But you want to build something that, that somebody in that industry would like. So there's the legal cybersecurity checklist, how to protect your client data in 5 simple steps, or the 20 things that every legal firm should be doing, which, otherwise if they don't, they'll void their insurance or something like that. Make it like really impactful. And then what you want to do is you want to make this resource and you want to just put it, I'll show you my profile. You want to just shove it here, and you want to also put it at this visit my website link. Why the visit my website link matters is, let me go to the post. Why it matters is because if someone just sees my content when they scroll the feed and they go, visit my website, they can just go straight to your website. But you want to take them then just to a simple landing page, which they give away something for free. And I'll show you, like in our program, we show how to build landing pages and that kind of stuff. But like this is an example of a really good landing page. I'll actually just show you the landing page in our program that I would suggest you build. Conversion optimization. There we are, example funnel. This is the example of a good landing page. It would be, get the cybersecurity thing. Here's all this text here. See how I can't scroll anywhere? And on the mobile phone, it would like be really mobile visual. You don't even have to have a video here. You could just have like a blurred out thingy. But the whole idea is to like capture people's emails. So we actually show you how to set this type of flow up because you want to capture their email because then you want to do what's in the next step where you actually email them stuff. And so Yeah, so you want to build this thing. You might even build a couple of them over time to try and find which one works the best. But what happens is, because you're going to create all this content like on your feed, like Trevor, right? As an example, he should have that visit my website thing. He's also a freelance senior product designer. He probably works at a company though. Like he might not actually work for himself. Senior product designer. Oh, this is like, I could help him make way more money. Book a call about your project. Like, this is wrong. Check out my work. Man, he should be building a list. Yeah, this is like not good. Like, even though he has this many followers, these are usually the people that I'm like, man, I could show you to make so much money. But like, see if I scroll down, it doesn't even have it. Ben doesn't have it. Hank has it, right? Visit my website. Boom. Here.io. AI is here. So it's like pushing you directly to a site. That's actually pretty good. He's in our program as well. That's not too bad. He hasn't used the format, but I'd highly suggest use our format. These are the highest converting landing pages. You want it where someone has one option or they leave. And so, because what's going to happen is you're going to write, like when I produce content, for example, I wrote, this post, people either click the see or visit your website and then they give me their email for my free course that I give away, or they see this post and they're like, oh, this Mac guy's interesting. And then they scroll down and they're like, oh, I want this free thing. And so then you get to track how many leads you get, not about how many likes you get, because likes and leads are not the same thing as well. So give away the free resource. Step 5 is you want to start a weekly email. Like, you don't want to call it a newsletter. Because whenever you use the word newsletter, people are like, fuck that. So you want to talk about, I would say Aussie legal firm, blueprint or something like that. And then it says like, I help you get cybersecure. Like, I've got 7 years experience in my industry and I send emails to make sure that you're secure and stuff like that for free tips or whatever. Right. And so you're just going to be like, every week you're going to send things like quick tips, how to stop a phishing email, and you could just grab this content off YouTube or whatever and just like repurpose it for your niche, share lessons from past projects, insights as well. You can also just like write a LinkedIn post and then just like make it a bit longer form and just email it. I do that all the time. Like, I'll show you an example. So like, you got it here. Open, let me pull it up for an example. Yeah. So this post here, this Be Very Afraid email, this was a LinkedIn post. And so I just repurposed it into an email form. So you can, with content, the key to creating it, like me creating this video right now, like I am also going to write a LinkedIn post. I'm going to also do a short form video. I'm probably going to do another longer form blog post, and I might do a second LinkedIn post with this video, with this idea, right? And so when you create like one piece of content, you want to like reach out and just do multiple pieces at the same time with kind of like the one idea or whatever in the story and stuff. So yeah, you want to start this kind of weekly email and you want to put it as your other section in your featured section. So if we go to my profile, you can have another featured section and you'd have that as your second one set up. So it's like you're giving something amazing away for free. Also, do you want to get these tips all the time? You could also not do the tips and just give away the free thing if that gets more people, and then just start sending them emails. You've just got to make sure that like you just have this little disclaimer, but providing my email, I agree to this, unsubscribe anytime. And like, if you're doing to Europe as well, you got to apply for GDPR, but don't take this as my legal advice or anything like that. It's like, you've got to actually check shit and make sure it's correct, but like, just go through and just like make sure you let people know as well at the same time. The reason I don't like newsletters is because when people think they have to make a commitment to something, they're less willing to do it. It's like if your friend's like, hey, do you want to go away like for a weekend in 3 weeks? And you're like, man, that's a commitment because it's like a whole weekend. But if they're like, hey, do you want to come with us to get a coffee on this morning for half an hour? It's like way less of a commitment. So you're more likely to do it. But even though when you get there, they're like, hey, let's go away this weekend. You're like, hey, we'll do that maybe kind of thing. So it's like, you just want to think about commitments. And also with your email, when you send a weekly email, you can send bi-weekly email. I send 3 emails a week. They just have to be good emails that are relevant to your industry. Because if someone gets this small law firm blueprint, right, like if they get your free thing, and then if you just keep sending them emails around how you can be helpful around, small legal firms, they're going to read it because they think it's for them. Even though you may grab the content from, somewhere else, it doesn't. Like, you could grab the content, like cybersecurity content from like being cybersecure for a financial advisor firm in the US, and be like, that's really good content. I'm just going to take it, rewrite it, and respin it and put it through. As long as it says it's for them, then they assume that they're going to actually listen to it or trust it. And then just at the end of each email, you can just, especially if you're marketing to your local area, you could literally just say, if you're looking to chat about improving your phone security, reply to this email. Or even better, if you're in Sydney, like I'm in Sydney, and if you are as well, let me know. Let's have a coffee, because if you can meet people in person, especially as a consultant, the chance of winning the client is like way higher. Step 6 is be helpful in the DM. So your goal in every message is just to be helpful and not sell, especially if you've got a year, right? Just connect and build relationships. And even better, one of the best ways to build a relationship is ask them about a problem they have, and then refer someone to help them solve another problem. So if you chat to them and they don't have cybersecurity issues, but they have issues with their office and they want to move offices, and somebody who helps people get offices in Sydney, you're like, hey, I've actually got a friend who helps people get offices in Sydney. Do you want me to refer them in? And they'll be like, yes. And then when you refer that person to them, they'll both talk about you, and you become the highest status person. So doing a referral is like super, really good as well. So that's step 6. And you're just going to do this for a year, literally. And you're just going to build your brand. You're going to build your profile. And then if we go back to the actual, let me go over here. So if we go back to here, right, like it's just going to build your trust over time. But like, this is the best example, right? The more of an expert you become, like instead of here being like everyone, you're going to become an expert. So like your demand and the price that you can charge is going to be really high before you even launch the business, because you're going to have so much demand. Because you need to solve the leads problem. You need to solve the attention problem first, and the leads problem, and become a key person of influence. And then when you do launch the business, or even if you launched it now, you should be trying to do this. It means that you're just going to fill your book up with business when you leave. And main thing, to just charge higher than what you think you should, because you'll get so many clients. Like if you do this for a year, if you do this for 6 months, you'll fucking explode. And then all you need to do in step 7 is, like, when you're ready to leave, you just need to do these things. You just need to post on LinkedIn, and you want to do an announcement post, right? And so the way you do it is you go to your profile and you just change jobs. So like anytime some announcement happens in our business, what I do is I go here and I go edit, and I just add myself as like a, co instead of dash founder. And I just do new role. And then it does like this like announcement post that you're doing a new thing. I'll show you. And it gets fuck tons of attention. I'll show you. It's like a little hack with LinkedIn. I think it was here. Yeah, here it was. Right. So I just changed my role again from founder to co-founder, right? And then it gives you this. And whenever you want to use this visual, because whenever you use this visual, people always automatically like, I've got to like my buddy's thing who started a new position. So like when you launch your consulting business, right, you're going to launch this, and you're going to be like, hey, I'm looking to work with people. Let me know, or put in your deets here, or whatever it is, right? And you'll get fuck tons of attention. I've done this hack like literally like 8 times. Like you can go into like your experience section, and you can add, I'm going to be founder, and it just says new thing. And then you just use it to make an announcement in your business, even though you haven't really started a new position. People just think you do a new thing. Like it's such a hack. And so you just want to do that. And then you want to just send one email to your email list. You probably built a few thousand people on your email list now, or even a few hundred, it doesn't even matter. And you just send an email saying, hey, Sonzo, like I've just left, I'm doing my own thing. I'm going to be working with a few more legal firms to help them get cyber secure. Next month, I just want to be like, I've got a couple of slots left. I just want to check if you want to have a meeting. And you will book like 25 to 30 meetings, like out of the bat. Like that's literally from doing this strategy. So let's quickly review it, and then we'll finish the video. So like you want to build relationships early by adding 200 people every week. Because remember the math, you can add, if you have 50, 200 people, you add a year. And then what you want to do is when you message these people, give them your lead magnet. Be like, hey, look, I saw that you owned a small legal firm. Like I actually made this free thing. Like I've spent like 7 years like helping legal firms get cyber secure, but bigger ones. But I think small business owners miss out on this thing. Would you be open to me sending it through to you? And then they'll send it through. and then you'll like send it through and they'll put in their email and then it'll go in your email list. And so you could probably get like from DMing, you could probably get like a couple of thousand people in your email list. What you also want to do is when you're posting your thought leadership content is you want to put links in all of your posts as well. So I'll show you an example, right? This is how I get fuck tons of leads. I don't know why people don't do this. I think it's this. No, not this one. Yeah. So like the other day I hit 60,000 followers, right? And so I was like, I hit 60,000 followers and here's the post. Also get a free copy of my book. Click this button. And then they go in and they put in their mobile phone number, email, and name. You don't have to take mobile phones. You can just take emails for now as well. You probably won't have the systems to do it. And then, it didn't even get that many impressions for an announcement post, which was really weird. But like we had boatloads of leads coming in, which was like amazing. Which is really, really cool. And so like you want to then, add these people, give them lead magnets, build the email list, build tons of trust, make your profile crystal clear what you do. You may have some restrictions with your current employer, but just talk to them first. Like, hey, I want to bring in business for the company, yada, yada, when you're just doing a side thing. But most like businesses, it's like you just tell them, hey, I want to build my personal brand and just get them a few referrals from things that come in. Don't be worried about, what happens if I get 5 clients and then I'm going to leave the firm. It's like, just give them to the firm, build some trust and equity up because you want to leave on like good terms anyway. So who gives a fuck? You're going to have so many leads, it's not going to matter because no one does this. Like fucking no one does this. Like it's why when I work with people and I show them like their businesses explode. Step 3, post content that builds trust and just study the copywriters, right? And you're going to be really shit at writing content at the start. Over time, you're going to get better. Then you want to create a free resources, which is a lead magnet, something for free. You might create a few things for free. Just also make sure of the link in the description. Download all my free stuff. So I got a free book on like how to write lead magnets here. Download this. It's got templates in it as well. Like Seller Chat lead magnets preloaded value. Where is the template? Yeah, there we are. There's literally templates based off our templates that have actually worked, which are amazing. I also got the Selling in the DMs book and then the Start Selling on LinkedIn Smart Way book. This helps you build your offer and your pitch deck because when you start a consulting or a coaching business, I remember me back in the day, the design and the visuals, that fucking scared me so much. Like that was so hard. Create this thing, then start your weekly email. Like the easiest email platform to start on is just fucking Beehive. It's so easy to set up. It will take you 30 minutes. I haven't got the logging. I used to use it. We use Go High Level now. I wouldn't suggest that for people starting out. It's way too technical. But like just do Beehive, right? It's just so simple to set up. Like watch YouTube videos. Like I know if you get caught on a couple of technical things and it gets hard, but please just get through it. Watch. YouTube has everything. I swear to God. Just watch it. Next, just be helpful in the DMs. Give them your free stuff. If you start making more lead magnets, just give them to people. And just have genuine conversations and even try to meet people up in person and connect other people together if you can. Step 7, then just do the big announcement. And then literally you'll fill your fucking calendar up. And like what most consultants do wrong is they just focus on building all these systems, hiring a team before they even found their first clients. And I did this my first 8 months in business and I lost like $180,000. I was a fucking idiot. And when I think back in time, but I just didn't know. I wish I'd watched some of this content and I just used it. And first you need to solve the attention problem to get noticed, right? You need more eyeballs on you, then you just get more natural luck that happens. Then you need to solve the leads problem. And when you focus on these things, everything else falls into place, like literally. If you want to leave your corporate job and start your consulting business, the key is like start now, earlier, build this email list, write content, build a brand. Don't wait until later on. Otherwise you'll be like, fuck this. Because when the time comes, you may be able to send an email out saying, hey, I'm looking for clients, right? Or I'm thinking about doing this thing. Get on this wait list. You might be able to fill up a wait list of 100 people who are keen, and then you can quit your job based off the demand. So it's like, you don't have to quit and go all in. You can do it while you're working at the same time. Obviously, there's restrictions with employers and posting, but like you got to get around that somehow. Just like make it work. Anyways, guys, I hope you found this video valuable as well. Get my free books below. Use them, execute them. The Start Selling on LinkedIn course is really good. And later on, once you made heaps of money, come join me in my paid program. You can find where it is, 7figurecreators.com. Book a time with me. Go to my LinkedIn and say I'm legit. I just want to put out such good free stuff that it just shits on other people's paid stuff because there's so many like fucking whack job course gurus out there as well. And like people categorize me as that as well, which it's why we're starting like a software company, all this stuff to kind of become more like legit. But like this kind of world is like full of so much shit. And so just go through the resources and like actually apply them and use them, because like every fucking man and his dog sometimes gets into this thing as well. So use the resources, and just like and subscribe if you. I'd really appreciate it. Catch you guys. Have a good day.